5 years ago, the ACCA record.
5 years ago, we began a simple but powerful idea that when women connect with purpose, they rise together. And that is why the ACCA Women's Network Nigeria was set up to create a safe, empowering community where women accountants can lead, learn, and thrive. From day one, our mission has been anchored on 4 pillars: mentoring, advocacy, career and development, and training. These 4 pillars guide everything we do. Now, over the past 5 years, our impact has been remarkable, if I say so myself. Through our structured mentoring program, we have supported and graduated nearly 50 rising female finance professionals, women who can now stand taller, more confident, and prepared for leadership. On training, we have held over 20 industry-focused sessions with leading experts. We've shared over 500 curated articles and publications, helping our members stay ahead of policies, of reforms, of industry shifts, building competence and relevance, and also continuous professional development.
The president of the ACCA Women Network, Victoria Ajayi, talks about the values and the vision of the network.
Now, on career development, this community has become a true engine of opportunity. We have shared over 400 job openings. We've celebrated promotions and transitions. We've spotlighted women doing extraordinary things. And we've also prioritized well-being, because a thriving career requires a healthy mind and body. From wellness walks to Zumba to water challenges to even nutrition coaching, our members have not just grown professionally, but holistically.
In the field of mentoring young women for career advancement and leadership development, this group has made a great headway worthy of celebration. Some of the laudable achievements of the ACCA WNN include sponsoring 7 female students through high school, providing food, financial support, and wellness programs for different orphanage homes, including secondary schools across Nigeria. The ACCA has also fostered job promotions, self-improvement through various training sessions held with leading industry experts. The president of the ACCA Women Network, Victoria Ajayi, once again shares more on the impact and the strides of the group so far.
Now, advocacy. This one is close to my heart, because through this, we've proven that we are indeed a force for public good. We've embraced SDG 4, 5, and 10, and not just in words, but in action. We've partnered with Slum to School Africa and Sponsor a Child to School, SACT, to support the education of nearly 50 less privileged children. We've also sponsored ACCA students with examination and tuition fees to be able to write the ACCA examinations. We commemorated the International Day of the Girl Child severally in different years by mentoring girls in slum communities. We've visited their schools, we've taught them self-affirmation, we've opened their minds to the world of finance through strategy games. More recently, our members in the North chose to respond to one of the toughest and most pressing issues in our nation today: insecurity and the displacement of families, especially women and children. We visited an IDP camp and provided food and basic supplies, and just as importantly, spent some time with them to offer hope, dignity, and simple show of humanity. All this gives you a glimpse into the heart of our network, and I'm certain our members are very proud of what we've achieved so far.
Perhaps one of the most notable achievements of the ACCA Women Network can be seen and felt through the hands of love and charitable deeds. This has spread far and wide, even to her sisters in the north. In the past 5 years, the ACCA Women Network has not only been able to build a great track record, but has able to achieve greatness in the lines of career development, leadership, and continuous learning. Once again, Victoria Ajayi tells us about the lives that has been changed in 5 years.
Now, looking forward, as we enter into the next 5 years, our vision is very clear. Let us not only count our career successes, let us make our careers count for our society. But true transformation begins within. We cannot change our communities if we have not first transformed ourselves. So, we'll continue to invest in becoming capable, courageous, and purpose-driven women, leaders who inspire change wherever we stand. That is our commitment. That is our next chapter. And together, the story we will write will even be greater than the one we've celebrated today. So I would say happy 5th anniversary to us, and thank you for being part of this incredible journey together.
Today, we celebrate the remarkable achievements, the wins, the strides, the impact, and the success stories of ACCA Women Network Nigeria, building great development initiatives for women across Nigeria. Yes, we say happy 5th anniversary to ACCA WNN. Keep inspiring change. Keep the fire burning.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Just confirm you can hear me with a show of hand.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
so good morning, and welcome, and thank you for joining us today in this webinar that's powered by the ACCA Women's Network in Nigeria, and specifically the Career Development Committee. As we know, AI is redefining the future, and finance is at the center of this transformation, from forecasting to reporting to risk management. And we organize this AI for finance, what CFOs must know and act on, just to take us through what this looks like. So to take our opening remarks, I'll just be reading, I'll be welcoming our ACCA chair, Victoria Ajayi. I'll share her profile and also take us through. So Victoria is a seasoned business executive and currently the GMD, the Group Managing Director and CEO at TVC Communication. She's a media, TVC Communication, it's a media conglomerate which captures an audience of about 30 million people daily. She has extensive governance and boardroom experience, as she currently serves as the chairman of Audit Committee of ACCA. She also chairs the Audit and Risk Committee of a financial institution, among other board roles which she holds. Victoria is an investor. She's an AI proponent. She's a mentor to many rising female leaders and an author of the timeless book, The Precision-Led Woman, a definitive guide to landing leadership positions. She has been recognized as one of the top 50 women in accounting globally, one of the 65 women making impact in Nigeria, and more recently, Media CEO of the Year. She's a member of the Institute of Directors and the Society for Corporate Governance in Nigeria. So to take our opening remark, I'll hand over to Victoria Ajayi. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you, team, for bringing this together. I see many known names on the call. I also see other people who are not ACCA WNN members. So welcome, everyone, whether you are a member or not. We love to share. I can see some of our allies. I can see the men as well. So good morning, and it's wonderful to see all of you, especially as I know that this room that we're in is filled with brilliant minds. I will start by saying that we've heard a lot of buzzwords when it comes to AI, when it comes to artificial intelligence. Please note, this session is not about buzzwords. Let's put that aside this morning. We should be cutting through all that noise and focusing on really what matters for us in our sector, in our industry. And so it's not just about the trend, and that's not why this session has been put up, but it's about actively shaping how we use artificial intelligence as finance professionals. How can we drive strategy? How can we as financial leaders adapt to this change? So our aim is that all of us in this room begin to lead that change. We don't just speak or talk about it, we walk the talk. And that's why we are here today. And I'm really thrilled that the team has chosen, this consulting firm, dbrown Consulting, because I recommend them anytime, any day. I know that it's been a while. I've worked with them personally, and the team didn't even know this. So when they shared with me, I said, "Oh, I've worked with dbrown now. I think the last time they worked with our company was 10 years ago." And even till today, I will still recommend them, and David Brown, particularly the partner and the founder of the firm. I will recommend him any day for your companies. So you are in good hands. And I'm sure they will take you through the ultimate playbook when it comes to AI. Whether you're looking to automate, routine work, or you want to really go into, deep dive how you can use certain tools to make you feel more confident. So I will say grab your coffee, your tea, some biscuits, and lean in. Ask questions and ensure you get something out of this session today. So I would say let's get started. Thank you, everyone, for being here. All the best with the session.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for that introduction. So by way of introduction, I'm Chinyere Nwokolo. I serve on the Career Development Committee of ACCA Women Network. And so next, to take us through the next about 45 minutes before we go to the questions, just give me a second, I'm trying to, okay. I'll be introducing our speaker, David Brown. Our speaker today is a globally recognized strategist and digital transformation expert with over 25 years experience advising organizations, governments, and business leaders across industries and continents. He's the managing director of dbrown Consulting Nigeria. He's the CEO of dbrown Analytic Solutions UAE. He's a Microsoft MVP, most valuable professional on AI and Excel and Copilot. He's an international consultant to the World Bank. He's a consultant with the Nigeria Governors Forum. He's the Deputy President, Learning and Development of Network International. He's the Honorary Treasurer for Nigeria British Chambers of Commerce. He is an international speaker, master trainer, and master institutional designer. He's a thought leader and board member. He's a chairman, ICANN Data and IT Faculty. He's a committee member, ICANN Accountability Index. I'm very confident that by the end of this session, you would agree with us that we could not have asked for a better and more qualified speaker. His social media handles are on the screen in case you want to connect with him afterwards. So to take us through the next 45 minutes before we go into the Q&A session, please join me in welcoming David Brown. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that introduction. I don't know if you can hear me. And I don't know if you can see me as well. Let me see. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you very much, everybody. Just confirming tech stuff. Can you see me?
Yes,
I
we can
can see
see you. We
myself.
can hear you.
Okay, I can see myself, but I can't. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so let me share my screen.
What
Thanks, everyone. And so this is 45 minutes. So no miracles, right? You're not going to become one AI expert in 45 minutes, but I want to tell you something, right? This is an amazing technology. And this is kind of the technology that everybody's starting on the ground floor. So but the thing is, when you're starting on the ground floor, it's very good to basically have kind of guidance on how you move forward. But I want to assure you, nothing is new. You guys are domain experts. In fact, if I'm going to make this as interactive as possible. So on the chat, I'm claiming that you are domain experts. One, I assume you're all chartered accountants, right? So you've gone through all the rigor of learning what it is. You've gone through what I call the accountant's Bible, right? Which is IFRS, the International Financial Reporting Standards Bible. I call that our accountant's Bible. So you know these things cold. You understand, you have experience, right? The experience that you've built over years. So you are a domain expert. Do you agree with me? Type in the chat. Do you agree with me that you're a domain expert? I'm not seeing many people saying yes. I mean, only one person saying yes, you're not a domain expert. So the core thing is you need to be a domain expert first. And that is who you are. You're domain experts. Now, once you're a domain expert, I think you just take it that artificial intelligence is not necessarily a tool. It's like you have this extremely intelligent employee, right? One extremely intelligent employee who needs guidance from you as the domain expert. So that when they make one or two mistakes here and there, you can see that mistake and you can say, hey, you're making a mistake here. Can you readjust yourself? Oh, sorry. Of course, you've heard AI tell you sorry many times, right? But at the end of the day, you are the one that needs to guide it. So take it as an analyst. Take it as one, probably right now you can call it a junior analyst, junior accountant. After you work with it for a while, you can promote it. You promote your AI to senior accountant. And then who knows, you can even promote it to maybe an assistant controller or something. But it's you that needs to work with AI. So I'm going to give you a big picture view of artificial intelligence and what you need to cut out of the hype. What do you need to know, right? I'm kind of known for a lot of data analytics, building reporting analytics solutions, modeling, forecasting. And I can tell you that my data analytics solution that we use right now, I created it 25 years ago. 25 years ago, and it has not changed because data has not changed. If your data is dirty, your output will be dirty. And AI is basically on top of that, basically because AI is basically doing what it is you were doing manually before, yeah, kind of automating it. And one of the biggest things you need to understand with AI is AI has been around for a very long time. It's been around since, in fact, I ask people, when do you think AI started? Many people say 2000, 2014, 17, 1950. 1950, artificial intelligence as a field, 1950, in fact, 1940 something. It kind of helped end the Second World War. I don't know if anyone here has watched A Beautiful Mind. Who has watched that movie, A Beautiful Mind? Anybody? Tell me in the chat. This is very interactive. I'm going to make it super interactive, so I need you to be talking to me in the chat. Let me share my screen while I do this. Who has watched A Beautiful Mind? Let me see if I can still see video. Show video panel. Good. Okay. Can you see my screen? I hope you can see my screen. What screen do you see? I don't know why I can't see what you see.
We can see your screen.
Okay, AI for finance, right? Because I have like 3 screens.
AI for finance.
Perfect, perfect. So let me see who has watched The Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe. Good game theory. Good. So The Beautiful Mind, I think, was it Alan Turing? I think maybe I hope I'm not mixing the movies. So Alan Turing was kind of broke the Enigma code. The Enigma code was the way Germans were sending messages across their war machines, right? And bombing Europe, right? So they broke that code using AI, algorithmic AI. So AI, algorithmic AI algorithmic AI means like, decision trees, right? Yes, no, okay. Are we going to pay this client? Yes or no? If it's no, why are we not paying? Yes, no. It's just decision trees on whatever decisions you want to make. There's a decision tree attached to it, and you do a machine learning program. You train your machines or you train AI on those decisions, right? And that's the same recommendation engine that Netflix uses, for example. When you watch a movie, Netflix says, oh, people that watch this movie also like this movie. Let me recommend this movie to you. Those are rules, yeah? A rule-based system, right? And that has worked for quite a while, but a different school of thoughts. Some people thought, you know what, AI should be able to work the way the brain works. The way our brain works, yes, we have rules, but we also just generate. If I started this talk again now, all the words I've just said to date to this point will be different. I can't repeat the exact same words I just said because I'm generating it, right? And everyone, in the moment you're born, your neurons and everything are connected differently. So every human being in this world is connected differently from everybody else, which means you're able to piece together things in a kind of a different way. But we as accountants, we are very structured. We need to see proof. We need to see audit. Things need to be audited. We need to be sure about things, right? We're conservative, and I mean we're managing the finances of entire organizations. We need to be conservative. So that rule-based thing makes a lot of sense, and we've been using it not as much as we should. But then there was another school of thought where AI is more generative. And that school of thought, 1970s, 1980s, they've been trying to do what has now, as they say in Nigeria, blown, right? So they've been trying to do it since 1970s, 80s, right? One of the top godfathers of the current artificial intelligence, his name is Geoffrey Hinton. I would really love you to go check him out. So Geoffrey Hinton there's some pieces that had to come together. One of the pieces he invented in 1987, I think, is called back propagation. So there's some technologies that had to come together for this generative AI to work the way it is doing right now. So he invented something called back propagation. Some other people invented different things, but then we needed a system to be able to train this generative AI so it can do the connections, the neurons that we have in our brain, the different neurons, so that it can connect and start generating things on its own. So one key thing was, how do we train these systems? We need a technology, special technology that can train the systems. And they discovered that the same technology we use for games, computer games, all these wonderful computer games and graphics, that specific technology uses something called GPUs, graphic processing units. And that was the best technology, similar technology to train AI for this generative AI. Who produces GPUs? Who can tell me in the chat? Let me see how you understand this, what's happening. Who produces the main GPUs? Tell me in the chat. Let me see if you know the company. You should know the company's name. Yes, thank you. Someone put it there. NVIDIA, they're the ones that probably have made the most money on AI. People are starting to make money on AI, but when it really started big, around 2017 and co, NVIDIA makes GPUs, and they moved from probably $20 billion valuation to 3 trillion. I don't know if they're 4 trillion right now. Can you imagine 20 billion to 3 trillion? Now, they make those GPUs. So we had other back propagation technology and stuff. We had GPUs. And then there was one particular thing. When it comes to training AI to think like us, think about a baby. If you want to train that baby to basically start doing things and hopefully become a chartered accountant after, you need to continue to teach that baby stuff and then probably inculcate really good habits, right? And to inculcate good habits, you need to reinforce that you're teaching to that child, right? There's a lot of reinforcement. When the child does something wrong, no, that's wrong. Do it again, do it again, do it again, until it becomes a habit. So that's reinforcement learning, right? And that is part of how AI is trained. So there's an algorithm that some brilliant people in Google created in 2017 called transformers. Now, I'm not showing you all this. I'm just talking so that you will get the gist. Transformers is like it's a small architecture that basically reinforces the learning. So I've mentioned back propagation, I've mentioned GPUs, I've mentioned reinforcement learning, and then the internet brought a lot of data. So all of those things came together and formed what we have now, the technology we have now that is absolutely amazing and continues to grow every day, right? So all this technology, Google had it mostly. Jeffrey Hinton worked in Google. He recently resigned so that he can talk to the world about the risks. There's a lot of risk that this brings also. You know, every new technology, there is huge risk. When the nuclear was invented, right? Human beings decided to use it for bad first. We bombed 2 cities in Japan, yeah, obliterated them. And then we thought, oh, this thing can be used for energy. And we started producing actually clean energy. Nuclear is probably one of the cleanest energy, right? We can produce. And so here we have this nuclear, almost like it is in the scale of a nuclear weapon, this AI we have now. And people are using it for good, but they're also using it for bad. So as the custodians of finance, the money in your organization, I think you need to be at the top of understanding this technology. All right. So I've given you a background of how it started. And then in 2017, if you remember, I don't know if you remember when a chess player, a computer beat a chess player like 30 years ago or something like that. Gary Kasparov used to be a chess grandmaster, and algorithmic AI beat him. So in 2017, this generative AI means that it doesn't need you to train it on past data. All you need to do is basically give it some rules and it works. So generative AI started around that 2017. Then a company decided, you know what, instead of doing lab testing, let's just release this thing to the world and let the world use it, and we will continue to learn from it as the world uses it. And that was OpenAI. That's ChatGPT. Who knows what GPT means in ChatGPT? G means generative, P means pre-trained, and T means transformers. I think it's similar to the history I've just given you now, right? Generative, pre-trained, transformers. So OpenAI released this, and I think, I won't say it was irresponsible, but a lot of that data was not bought. A lot of that data was stolen, right? A lot of that data was books like, I ask AI, hey, have you read this book, Things Fall Apart? So yeah, I've read it. Okay, give me chapter 3. It will give me chapter 3. That's before they started hiding the fact that there's still a lot of this data. Then I ask AI, so how are you reading this book? Did you buy it? Because obviously you just took it. So anyway, you can say we're working on stolen goods, which is funny but true, kind of. So, but people are cleaning up their act. So ChatGPT was released, everybody was amazed, and then the rest is history. And then we're now where we are today. So that is AI. It's not new. It's just now working really well, right? So AI for finance, what do we need to know as CFOs, right? So I'm going to go through small climbing ladder that I think there's one key statement I need you to understand. As this AI technology continues to improve, have a general idea where it's going, right? What is AI? AI is looking at your data, is basically looking at it like a human. All the knowledge we have in this world, AI basically has consumed that knowledge. It's left for you to say, hey, I'm CFO, and I need you to kind of focus on the accounting side of things, or focus on one particular aspect, maybe accounts payable. You're now narrowing this engine's massive brain to a specific aspect that you want it to work on. That is like you have this huge power and you're pushing it through one tiny pipe of one specific thing you want. It will work far better when you do that. So you need to kind of prompt AI to tell it, this is precisely what I want you to focus on. And then it focuses and it gives you better results, right? So what are the things we need to know? This intro, we've already done an introduction. I'll send you these slides, obviously, at the end. So last night, an AI agent closed a company's books. Just closed it, did everything and closed the books. No human touched any journal. Will you sign those accounts as the CFO? AI did everything. Would you sign it? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Someone saying no. Okay, type in the chat. Will you sign it? Will you sign it? People are not signing this report. Okay. You're not signing. Any reasons why you're not signing? Tell me. Okay. I can see people are saying, nope, 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 they're not signing. So why aren't you signing? Okay, I'll call that back. Let me hold that thought. Let's come back. So I'm going to cut out the hype and going to see AI at work. I'm going to show you one or two things, something that just got released yesterday, day before yesterday. So I just thought, you know what, let me just bring it in so you have an idea. And I'll kind of use that to explain, look, there's nothing new really, but it just came out day before yesterday, and I think it's going to be useful for you guys. It's in Excel, and it's something Microsoft released. They've been waiting for them to release it for a year. And then I want you to understand the risks. I'm going to talk about cyber risks that you as CFO needs to know. And then what do you need to do to act yourself to get this ball rolling? So I'm just going to do a time check. I'll make sure I stay on time. All right. Hype versus reality. Now, to the left here, you have the hype, really, which is it thinks like it will decide it can become your CFO. You don't need accountants. It's always, AI is always right. It will replace the accountants. You can plug it in and walk away. It needs no data discipline. No, so these are the hype. This is what you see. This is the hype out there, right? And the reality is it predicts patterns. It doesn't judge. So it's an absolutely amazing pattern predictor. And one thing about us as accountants, right, is if you want to manage, what are we managing? We're trying to, as much as possible, since CFOs are execs, let me give you something I talk to people in my trainings. When it comes to executive level, there are only 6 things a top executive is interested in, or should I say we evaluate them on 6 things. And those 6 things are tied to money, market, and exposure. Money, market, and exposure. So for money, a top exec, or let's even say the CEO, which of course the CFO also needs to be concerned about, is under money, how do I increase revenue? How do I reduce cost? That's money. Increase revenue, reduce cost. For market, we're looking at how do I increase market share? How do I reduce time to market? What do I mean by time to market? If there's a particular product, how do I reduce the time it takes me to release it to that market, right? So how do I increase market share? How do I reduce time to market? Then under exposure, what the exec is interested in is how do I increase retention? How do I retain my clients? How do I retain my staff? And then how do I reduce risk? As CFO, as any accountant, there's no decision in an organization that's not a finance decision. If you think about it, every single decision is a finance decision because finance basically is talking about the future, right? It's future focus, right? And every decision has some financial implications here or there. Either you're saving time, which means you're saving money, you're increasing revenue. There is some metric there. So those 6, hold those 6 key metrics and ask yourself, are we moving the needle in any of these 6? So the reality is it is confidently wrong sometimes. AI can tell lies. If you want to see one of the blatant lies it tells, I think I have a Twitter thread on some lies that it just keeps lying and it continues to reinforce its lies, right? So, but it's reducing that a lot. And I ask you a question, are you a domain expert? If you're a domain expert, you know it's lying. You're like, this can be IAS 33, IAS this says this. How can this be? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't check it. Do you get? So you need to be in the loop. So you need gates, you need review, you need governance. It is only as good as your data. So if your data is bad and you want to do AI transformation, please clean your data first. Fix your data issues. Maybe get the AI to help you fix your data issues before you jump onto transformation. All right? So it is not coming, it is here. AI is here. These are some statistics, from Gartner, from State of AI Finance report, from industry reports and stuff. 90% of finance functions will run at least one AI tool in 2026. Now, a lot of your software, they're clamoring, they're pushing to try and integrate AI into or inculcate or integrate with AI in its tools, right? Now, AI is going to transform quite a lot. You're going to be able to build things you weren't able to build before. One key thing I want you to understand about AI is, I don't know how many of you here know programming languages. We are CFO, we are accountants, right? We're not IT, if you in quotes. But how many of you here, what programming language do you know? Type in the chat. Let me see. What programming language can you work with very easily? Tell me. Let me see in the chat. Do you write Python? Any Python expert here? Any VB expert, Visual Basic? Let me see. Okay, we have some people that know Python and stuff. Great. So there's a brand new programming language in town. Who knows? Someone knows Java. There's a new extremely powerful programming language in town. Who knows what that is? So let me give you the programming language in town is called English. That's basically it. The reason we're here today is because AI has cracked language. AI has cracked language. So I want you to understand that. AI has cracked language. And because it has cracked language, it has read every single thing about what the world, really, everything about what we've ever invented. And is able to use pattern recognition expertise to piece it all together. And then it speaks English super well. So your programming language now is English. So now your interface is no more Python and all of that. It is pure English. And you need to be able to give AI clear instructions. So the most important thing you can do as a CFO is start creating very clear instruction templates. And there's a new framework for doing that. It's called skills. So write that down. You're going to be hearing it a lot. Claude invented it. Anthropic is one of the AI providers. They invented what we call skills. Just like you train your staff on skills, a particular skill, you can train AI on the accounts payable skill, accounts receivable skill. So it's a set of instructions and a set of ways of working that you can repeat. You can just, once you train it on the skill, and then instead of you giving a very detailed prompt, you could say, maybe there's some invoices. So I'm going to look at some invoices here and just say, categorize these invoices and post into the accounts payable journal. Just type that. It will go and select the skill, how you've taught it to do this, and then it will implement precisely based on the skill. Exactly what we as accountants want. We want rules. We want to be able to edit. We want to audit. We want to be able to audit what it is doing based on skills and rules. All right? So that's where we are today. Is English. It has cracked English. So Hewlett Packard, far more use of agentic AI inside finance. These are people that are using this right now. Microsoft, you have AWS, agentic AI investigates the variance, pulls the data, synthesizes the analysis, and schedules the follow-ups. So a lot of the work we do that takes us time is being done by AI easily right now. All right? So that's just a fact. All right. How the work and the worker changes. So AI is now a new staff. Just take it as a new employee that you've just employed. I assume you should employ it first as a junior accountant, let it prove itself to senior accountant. You're going to be promoting your AI. That's what you should think about. So the core idea I want you to go with is two ladders. There are two ladders here, right? And one move. What do I mean? So as AI climbs from assistant to operator, your value also climbs from preparer to orchestrator. That's you, the accountant. So there are ladders you're going to flow. Let me give you the first ladder. The first ladder is where AI is your assistant. And that's where we are currently, right? You're chatting. Most of us chat. AI is assisting us. Sometimes we discover, oh, we can open Excel. AI can work on the Excel and do some stuff. So AI is preparing, yeah? So you are basically your preparer, and you're moving from the preparer, which AI is now going to start doing, to the reviewer. So AI is your assistant, and you are moving from preparer to reviewer. So AI does a lot of the work, and you do the review. If you want to go into a deep dive in financial modeling, I have a webinar which I did where I tested AI. This is a couple of weeks ago, I think. I tested Copilot against ChatGPT on building financial models from scratch. So I gave it a historical financials for a company, and then I gave it a prompt, and I said, these are your instructions. Build a detailed financial model for me from scratch. And so we had it live. You could see the AIs building step by step. I would advise you go watch that. Just to Copilot versus Claude in financial modeling. Go to YouTube, you'll see that. Very funny. I also got Gemini. Gemini is another AI to be the judge. So I was the judge and Gemini was the judge. We looked through and we saw who passed. Who do you think won between Claude and ChatGPT? Who do you think won that building of financial model? It did a really good job, but it wasn't good enough for me as an expert. But at least it did the preparer. It was the preparer. It did a pretty good job. Who do you think won, Claude or ChatGPT? Let me see. You see, bias. Huh. So let me tell you, I agree with you guys. I was very biased. So, which is why it's a good thing I got Gemini to also be a judge, because I thought Claude would win. Frankly speaking, I've been working with Claude all through the last 1.5 years, and Claude has always been winning. So, but ChatGPT won. I'm serious. ChatGPT actually won. It finished the thing faster and it was more accurate. It did an audit within the model. Amazing. And that was the latest ChatGPT model. So I was biased, and the Gemini had to kind of tell me indirectly that I was biased. And that is one thing we bring to the table. We bring our biases to the table, right? So AI will help us kind of eliminate that or actually make it worse, right? So that being a domain expert is so important. Please don't think, oh, I don't need to do this. You need to do it. You need to be at a higher level, which is why I'm talking about this ladder. AI is your assistant right now, which means you need to be a reviewer. That's just ladder 1. Ladder 2, or rung 2, AI now becomes the drafter, right? So you will now move from reviewer to advisor. So AI is drafting stuff directly. You're moving from reviewer to advisor. Now, AI, it can now become the, how will I call it, the watchdog. AI is now the watchdog, when AI is actually looking for flaws, looking for risk, looking for vulnerabilities. Then you are now moving from advisor to judge, to kind of judge those vulnerabilities to understand where they are. And then the last rung, AI now becomes your full operator. It's almost doing every single thing the accountant, the technical stuff the accountant does. Then you need to move from your controller to orchestrator. So what's happening is, where are you in your organization right now? And where's your AI, right? So AI can already get to operator now if you want to invest the money. But we need to understand that as AI is moving up in a capability, we are also moving up. So if you stay where you are, AI will disappear. So you have to understand that in context. So I did some simulations. So let me put those simulations up. Let me get my screen up. All right, so let me ask a question. So I have the AI as assist. Let me zoom in. So tell me which is where. AI assists, AI drafts, AI watches, AI operates, right? You have AI as the analyst, the drafter, the watchdog, or the operator. So I have all of this, some of these tasks that we do. Building a 3-statement forecast. Is that AI being an analyst or a drafter or what? So I want you to think, okay, where do we drag and drop these things? I'm just going to drag and drop anyhow. I'm sure they are wrong, but I want you to think through what is correct. These are tasks we do and I think I'll send you this. I'll send you this file as well so you can play with this. So what have I done wrong here? I've just pasted things randomly. Huh? Do you agree? What's a drafter? AI is the drafter, human is the reviewer and advisor. AI is the watchdog, then human is the advisor and judge. AI becomes your operator, then human will be your controller and orchestrator. So I'll drag these things here.
Please mute your mics.
Okay, so you can see that, okay, these are obviously wrong. You test yourself, you can check your answer and see, oh, these are not correct. So I got 5 out, I just randomly dropped it, got 5 out of 10. So you can play with this, but what I'm trying to get to you is that, look, there are different wrongs. And if I go to demo 1, for example, here we have the forecasting and scenario planning tool. So you have forecasting and scenario planning. We can decide that, okay, my assumptions are revenue, I reduce my revenue, I'm increasing churn, increasing price, increasing cost inflation. And can you see the comments? So the AI is your analyst. It's writing your reports. It's writing these reports. How many of you here already has AI doing this? Writing your reports, right? You put the data and stuff, it writes a report. Doesn't mean you should send it. You can then edit a bit. Who has AI writing their reports right now? Type in the chat. Just say yes if you do. Do you have AI writing a big chunk of your reports and you're reviewing it? All right? Anybody? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. I can see some are saying yes. Super stuff. AI can do this very well, right? You can put a spreadsheet and say, hey, give me a report. In fact, let's put up a spreadsheet. Let me I have a spreadsheet already set up. I have one big spreadsheet like this, right? So this is a detailed spreadsheet on Q4, Q1 report. Let's see which AI we're going to use. Now, if you're using AI in Microsoft, you will see this Microsoft icon, which I actually don't like it here. So you can right click this and send it to the ribbon. So if I send it to the ribbon, I click on home, you will see it down here. I prefer it here. So if I go to Copilot, I can tell Copilot to do a detailed analysis of this report, right? There's one new thing. Now, if I tell it to do a detailed analysis of this report, now, me as a CFO, I really wanted to follow a structured set of rules. Will you agree with me? It needs to follow, just generate. Do you agree? It has to follow rules, right? I need to be able to rely on this thing. I'm going to send it to my board, for goodness sake. Can you follow rules? Guess what was added yesterday? This is literally yesterday. Yesterday night, so day before yesterday. So if I come to this plus sign, Microsoft has now create workbook rules. So if I create workbook rules, it's going to create, and this is brand new, so I haven't even tested it, right? So this workbook rules, what you're going to do is you're going to type into column, it's going to create a sheet called .rules. This .rules, you're going to type all your specifications, every single specification about how you do accounts payable, how you do accounts receivable, how you do your financial reports, how your structure looks, what your logo is, what your format is, every single thing. You will write the rules down here. You will detail it in column A of a new sheet called .rules. All right, how did I go there? I created Copilot, I came to plus, and I selected go to workbook rules. So you now list out your workbook rules here. Once you do that, it will use those rules in building your reports. And so it means your reports are going to be super consistent. This is amazing, right? Now, Claude, to me, these are, when it comes to this AI, the big players. The big players are your LLMs. So you're going to see lots of AI tools out there, plenty, thousands of AI applications. Let me explain that to you. Ignore all of them for now. You need to know who are the engine rooms. The engine rooms are your LLMs, your ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, Claude, which is Anthropic, Gemini, which is Google, Meta AI, which is Facebook, Meta, those four. Now, somebody is saying Grok. You can leave Grok to one side for now. Let's leave Grok. Now, these are your big engines. Now, there are other sub-engines. Sub-engines are kind of connected to these big engines, right? So they connect to these big engines and do some things. And then you have many AI applications. What they do is they also connect to these big engines, do some small fine-tuning. You see, oh, this AI is very good at presentations. All it is connecting to one of these big engines and fine-tuning how it does presentations. That fine-tuning you can do. Guess what? You can do it with these rules. You can do it with rules. You can do it by creating something called skills. I've told you, take note of that. Something called skills, where you're generating a skill. Then you have built that tiny AI application yourself. So a lot of these massive AI, many AI companies, unfortunately, many of them are going to go under. Many of them are going to go bankrupt. Why? Because these big engines, this Claude, ChatGPT, they basically switch on and off. They switch on and off features. So if they say, oh, this small company has done something wonderful in PowerPoint, oh, let's just add it to our AI. So Claude will just add it. That company is dead, right? So it's a wild, wild west right now. But just understand these big engines. Now, you have to say, okay, who is the leader in these big engines? Well, it's actually Claude. Why? Because all the other big engines, they concentrated on consumer AI. That is AI sold to the consumer so the consumer can test it out. You're working on your phone or ChatGPT and stuff. That's ChatGPT. That is Gemini. That is Meta, consumer AI. Claude went a different route. Claude decided to go enterprise AI, which means they're working directly for the enterprise, working for the CFOs to say, okay, what is it that you need for your enterprise? What kind of solutions do you need? So they were far ahead and they're making more money than everybody else. Now everybody's playing catch up. So I love that I saw this yesterday. This is now rules we can put, very specific rules. So I would like to see what you guys build with this. And then soon Microsoft is going to release skills as well. So in the next couple of weeks, you'll see skills. Skills will come up here. Yeah, and you'll be able to load a skill, right? So that's also coming. Very great. So let me quickly tell it to create a great summary report. Should I say just summary report? What kind of prompt should I give this? I think I prepared a prompt, but let me just say create a great summary report of this 2 quarters. Okay, just very small prompt. Okay, let's just see what it does. So create a small summary report. It will do whatever it does. It's going to supposed to create a sheet and then start doing a summary report. It's quite a lot of data, actually. It's like plenty data for 2 quarters. What I expect it to do is create a sheet and then do a summary report. We'll come back to it while it's doing its thing. It's reading the workbook structure, blah, blah, blah. It will also read these rules. So let's get back to the slides. So this is where AI is going, and this is where you need to determine where am I in this as a CFO, as an accountant. Am I where AI is just my assistant? Am I where AI is drafting my report and I'm now comfortable? I've created a skill, different skills, and I'm comfortable with AI's efficiency in creating those reports. Let's remember that we human beings also make mistakes. But for some funny reason, they did a survey, and most of us don't want AI to make mistakes. Humans can make mistakes 10% of the time, but we want AI to be 100% accurate. It's getting there, but we have to think we can leave AI to be a drafter, or is AI your watchdog, or is AI your operator? All right. So this is how you should talk to AI. So I just sent a prompt. That's a kind of a lazy prompt. When you are working with AI, you need to be able to be very crisp in how you speak to AI. So I created this framework. This is my prompt engineering framework that you need to be crisp. And so anytime you're either creating a skill or you're just doing detailed instructions for AI, you need to follow this framework. First thing is context. Context is number one, everything. The background, the scope, the assumption. So give a detailed context about what it is you're trying to do, right? So that's number one, context. Number two is role. Give AI a role. Tell it, look, you're a junior accountant in this, you're expert in accounts receivable and stuff. You understand how to use which accounting software, Sage or stuff like that. It knows all of that. You understand Sage and all that. And this is your role. Give it a persona, give it a role. That's in your prompt. Then give it instructions. Give it very clear instructions. So sometimes you give your junior accountant instructions and say, please give me the report by 12 noon tomorrow. 12 noon tomorrow, you say a terrible report. Is it the accountant's fault or you that didn't give clear instructions? So you need to learn how to use this new programming language called what? English, to give clear instructions, right? How do you, constraints, guidelines, tell it what not to do as well. Then beyond instructions, you have specifications. To me, this is now similar to the rules you saw there, the rules, which is this is how we do reporting in this company, in our company. This is how we do invoicing. This is how we do this. So give specification, load your guide sheet. Maybe you have a guideline document, load it. Maybe you have a rule book for, you have some documents, some specifications used to train your team. Load it to the AI and say, hey, follow these specifications. And then lastly, for CRISP, you need to practice, because you have to keep practicing, failing, and getting better and better. Don't just wait. Start using this thing, practice it. So what's possible right now? Well, I have some invoices and I need to do a time check. I don't know, can someone give me a quick time check? How are we doing in time?
Yeah, we're good. We have about 6 more minutes.
Okay, so let me show you, let's see what AI has built right now in that chat. The Excel, has it done anything sensible? Okay, is it still building? Okay, look at what it did. So it created a sheet, 2-quarter summary. Okay, now normally AI is not just going to do that, it's going to write formulas, right? It's going to really write down the formula. So it's saying quarter 4, quarter 1, 2025, 2026, the quarter to quarter change. You can see the differences from quarter to quarter, and it's formulas in there. So of course, as an auditor, a CFO, we can audit formulas, right? It's not just pasting directly. What functions is it using to do all of this stuff? Some ifs, we all know some ifs, right? So we would have done this some ifs ourselves, the zone, the stuff. But now with these new rules, we can actually specify precisely how it should do its charts, how it should do its tables, everything. In fact, how it should even eventually send it to PowerPoint, right? So you can imagine these rules, you can even tie, so remember, all your rules will be in column A. So we can tie all these rules and then you can make this super precise as to what it is you need. But this already looks like something that would have taken me quite a while to do, right? Now, this is ChatGPT. If I use Claude would probably do something else, but that's interesting. I have some invoices here. Let me quickly do one interesting case. If I go to, let me go to a folder I created, and I had some invoices. So let's assume you have like 1,000 of these invoices, right? Invoice number, invoice date, some amount, and stuff like that. One thing you could do is ask AI to rearrange these invoices or relabel all of these invoices and put it into a proper categorization. So let's see how AI does that. I'm going to point AI to this and just tell it to go read everything. Now you can have 1,000 invoices and it breaks all the invoices down and does your summary reports, does your payables journal and all of that. It just depends on the prompts that you give it, right? So let me in fact, I'm going to use CoWork for this one. So I'm going to use CoWork. So Claude CoWork. So Claude, of course, invented this CoWork thing. You have chat, which everybody knows. Then you have coding, which most of us are not coders, right? So even if AI writes Python code, we don't understand it. So CoWork is in between chatting and coding. So when you want AI to become your agent, AI basically has hands to do things. Chatting is AI having a voice. You're talking to AI. When you want AI to have hands, that means you're asking it to do stuff, which is what CoWork will do. Guess what? Microsoft also has brought in CoWork. 3 weeks ago, Microsoft has in your Microsoft Copilot, there's now CoWork. So what's happening is as the industry leaders are creating stuff, the others are also copying. They're copying legally because Claude gave it for free, all the code of how they're doing it. They want to create standards. So standards are being created in front of our eyes, right? So that CoWork standard. So now let's ask it to actually clean up this data. I have a prompt set up. Let me see if I can quickly ask it, let it do its own thing by the background while we continue with the slides. All right, so give me a second. Let me get out the stuff. So let me see. Okay. Let me just type. I would like you to relabel so arrange all my invoices in what folder is this? Inbox folder according to whatever category you believe works, whatever category you believe works best. Put them into the appropriate folders for us to complete the accounts payable process. Okay, so I've just typed stuff directly and see what it does, and let's see if it does something funny, and then we can always go back to it. So I already kind of put the folder. I want you to guess what the folder is. You should know what the folder is, but let's see. So this is CoWork. CoWork will usually put a set of steps to the right, and this is work. This is an agent. You've sent an agent to go to your folder and start doing stuff. Let's go to the folder and see whether it starts doing stuff. I expect it to come to this folder and start changing things. So let's see if it does that. 16 scanned invoices. Now, where did it go? Hope there's not a different inbox. So I'm hoping this is the inbox because I had 2 inboxes. So I want you see it now rearranging, reading, rearranging and stuff. So you can imagine if you had 1,000 invoices, it's going to rearrange it, go to a spreadsheet, list out the invoices and start creating your accounts payable journal and all that stuff. And then you can integrate it with the accounting software and it then implements and actually posts directly. So let's see where it is. How should I organize the invoice into folders for the AP process? By payment status, by vendor, by this? I can say you decide. Let me just say you decide. You decide. Now, I want to be sure I've read all 16 invoices. They're all addressed Acme Holdings PLC, and I spotted a few things worth flagging. Okay, that's what I expected it to do. So this is my accountant working, right? So I'll tell it to decide, and then let's see if it's rearranging these stuff. All right. While it's doing that, we can come back and see what it does. How should I organize the invoices? You said I decide. I'll go to payment status. Okay, good. It's doing that. It's loading tools. It's loading skills. It's giving the steps that it's going to follow, right? So this is Claude Cowork, right? So you guys have to move from chat to Cowork and start using this to actually do some real work. While it's doing that in the background, let's move on to finalize our slide. So this was a messy invoices, going to clean it up, create PDFs and stuff. So this, I've done this session before actually, so I'm just using my old slides, but there's reconciliation it can do as well. The board pack, you can create your board pack where it's actually taking the data and updating your board pack that you take to the board, right? So you then use it to create a skill. So next time you say, okay, create board papers. It will go and do everything you did for board papers as long as you've trained it on those skills, right? And then, of course, you also have your teaching the co-pilot, your conventions, and there are certain new standards that have just come out. Again, this one was released early this month. So early this month, I was in Germany for the IBCS conference. IBCS is International Business Communication Standards. One important thing for us as accountants, right, is we need to start looking at standards. What are the international standards, right? So this is an international standard on how you do reporting. Very important standard. International Business Communication Standards on reporting. So let me show you what that means. So IBCS is International Business Communication Standards, and this drafts, they show you how to report or numbers, financials. How do you report them in a standard way? And there's a new ISO that came out just in June called the Notation for Business Reporting. Just take note of this. This is just in June, just came out now. So you need to kind of follow a structured way of doing reporting to standardize your business reporting, right? And again, yesterday, I don't know, too many things are happening. Yesterday, the Microsoft has adopted the Financial Modeling Institute's standard for financial modeling for forecasting. So just yesterday. So let me put that here. Financial Modeling Institute. So FMI is the Financial Modeling Institute, FM Institute. And just yesterday, I don't know if they even have it on their website. They are now, yeah, this is on their website. Financial Modeling Institute's best practices are now embedded into Microsoft Copilot. This is yesterday, right? Or was it just yesterday? So we've partnered with the Financial Modeling Institute, the global body for credential industries, most demanding modelers or credentialing, FMI's library. So how we do financial modeling is now standardized inside Excel from the Financial Modeling Institute. Again, this is just yesterday. So things are happening fast, right? And we're trying to get standardized, getting standards. You saw rules, you saw skills and stuff. So as the CFO, please just know that AI is going to automate what it is we are doing on a daily basis, but you need to be that domain expert and you need to hold AI accountable for your standards. And then you need to imbibe those international standards so that you can then say, okay, I can trust AI. AI writes your reports. You have a trust for AI because it's following those standards. So your autonomy ladder, you have your running. Rung 1 is forecasting, scenario planning. Your rung 2, reporting and narratives. Your rung 3 is anomaly and fraud detection. And the rung 4 is the agentic close, which is where AI is doing nearly everything based on all the skills you've trained AI on, where you now become the orchestrator, right? You're moving to orchestrating this. And that's how our roles are going to change over time. So AI produces, the human is accountable. AI flag is a question, not a verdict. A draft is a start, not a sign off. An agent acts on permissions you granted as the domain expert. The professional who forgets this is the one AI actually endangers and the one that makes us extinct. So don't stay here. just know I am going up the ladder. As AI is going up, I'm going up as well. So where are you in that ladder? Yeah. Which part of the rung are you in right now? So the ladder cuts both ways. When autonomous AI is turning against you, that means probably you're not on the right level. AI is already in step 3 and you're in step 1, right? So you need to understand that. Now, it's very important. I know probably my time is up, but it's very important I show you some massive risks. And I would really like us to listen to this short video. This again came out 2 months ago, where Claude was trying to release a model. I don't know how many of you know this Mythos thing. Claude was trying to release a model, but they decided to test it with their partners. And this model opened up massive cybersecurity vulnerabilities globally. So they didn't release the model. They were constantly trying to get the big players to plug those vulnerability gaps before they released. Now, 2 weeks ago, they released a smaller model of this Mythos model, a smaller version, and the US government forced them to remove it. They gave them a notice to remove it, which is kind of dangerous. Why is it dangerous? You as the CFO, you've now built all your skills and everything using Claude something. And then all of a sudden, Claude removes that model. So that's an additional risk. How will America stop a company from, or tell a company to remove a model it has released? Which means people will now use that model and then all the tools that they've built is at risk. So there are so many risks that you need to kind of measure as an accountant, as CFOs, right? But please watch this because they created this project Glasswing to kind of mitigate against the fraudsters using the tools that they've built for fraud because it's real. So let's listen to this.
Most people who use software every day don't think about bugs. They don't think about what can happen if the software that they depend upon suddenly is less secure. That's something that software developers have to deal with every single day.
So software has always had flaws and vulnerabilities. That's not new.
For an average person, the bugs are, by and large, not something they notice on a daily basis because if they do, they get fixed.
But then every so often, there are vulnerabilities that have real severe impacts.
Like one single bug that works its way into shared software that many different products or websites use. So one issue just gets magnified out around the world.
So historically, finding and patching vulnerabilities has been a slow, time-consuming, and expensive process.
If LLMs are now able to write code at the level of some of the greatest software developers in the world, it can also be used to find bugs and exploit that software equally effectively.
These models have capabilities which are raising the bar from a cybersecurity point of view with their ability to help defenders as well as potentially help adversaries.
We recently developed a new model, Claude Mythos Preview. Early on, it was clear to us that this model was going to be meaningfully better at cybersecurity capabilities.
There's a kind of accelerating exponential, but along that exponential, there are points of significance. Claude Mythos Preview is a particularly big jump along that point. We haven't trained it specifically to be good at cyber. We trained it to be good at code, but as a side effect of being good at code, it's also good at cyber.
The model that we're experimenting with is, by and large, as good as a professional human at identifying bugs. It's good for us because we can find more vulnerabilities sooner and we can fix them.
It has the ability to chain together vulnerabilities. So what this means is you find 2 vulnerabilities, either of which doesn't really get you very much independently. But this model is able to create exploits out of 3, 4, sometimes 5 vulnerabilities that in sequence give you some kind of very sophisticated end outcome. And we think that this model can do this really well because we notice that this model is very autonomous. It's just generally better at pursuing really long-range tasks that are kind of like the tasks that a human security researcher would do throughout the course of an entire day. Obviously, capabilities in a model like this could do harm if in the wrong hands. And so we won't be releasing this model widely.
More powerful models are going to come from us and from others. And so we do need a plan to respond to this.
That's why we're launching what we're calling Project Glasswing, where we partner with a number of the organizations that power some of the world's most critical code to put the model into their hands, to allow them to look at how they can use models like this to bring down risk and protect everyone.
And by giving these software developers advanced tools before anyone else, it gives all of us a collective head start.
It allows us to find things that we couldn't find before, and it helps us fix these things much more quickly.
Working with our partners, we've been finding vulnerabilities across essentially every major platform.
I found more bugs in the last couple of weeks than I found in the rest of my life combined. We've used the model to scan a bunch of open source code, and the thing that we went for first was operating systems, because this is the code that underlies the entire internet infrastructure. For OpenBSD, we found a bug that's been present for 27 years, where I can send a couple of pieces of data to any OpenBSD server and crash it. On Linux, we found a number of vulnerabilities where, as a user with no permissions, I can elevate myself to the administrator by just running some binary on my machine. For each of these bugs, we told the maintainers who actually run the software about them, and they went and fixed them and have deployed the patches so that anyone who runs this software is no longer vulnerable to these attacks.
For a developer who tirelessly maintains software, a model that can help them discover vulnerabilities in their own code and fix them before they can be exploited, that is an invaluable tool.
We've spoken to officials across the US government, and we've offered to work with them and collaborate to assess the risks of these models and to help defend against the risks of these models.
Everything that we do in our lives now depends on software.
Software kind of ate the world. Every analog aspect of our life is somehow represented in digital domain.
And so all of our daily lives run on the idea that we can rely on the systems that power them.
Cybersecurity is the security of our society.
It is essential that we come together and work together across industry to help build better defensive capabilities.
No single organization sees the whole picture and can tackle this on their own.
This is not going to be done as part of a few-week program. This is going to be the work of certainly months, perhaps years. But what I do hope is at the end of this, we can be in a position where the world's software, its customer data, its financial transactions, its critical infrastructure are safer than they were before.
All right, so I'm going to close with that. I have many other examples, but I won't go into that. I'm just going to show you something I put together to summarize this for you. I put together a infographic. So this is what I talked about just now. You're in the assist mode, where this is wrong one, where AI is your assistant. When you become from the preparer to the reviewer, where AI is your drafter and you become your advisor and moving from reviewer to advisor, where AI becomes your watchdog and you're moving from advisor to judge, and where AI becomes your full operator and you're moving from controller to orchestrator, right? Then these are some of the examples I gave about CFOs. And this is there's a 25 million that was stolen in a company in Hong Kong, where the fraudsters had the CFO of the company and many other staff in the company on a Zoom call, fake. The picture, the video, and everything were all fake, but looked completely real. And they approved 15 transactions of $25 million. I mean, crazy, right? So this is your verification protocol. This is what you should do to verify things. You shouldn't, in fact, looking at the person on a video call is not good enough anymore, right? So if someone says, hey, please approve now, it's not good enough. Then this is what you need to do to start acting. This is your roadmap for next week, Monday. And this is just additional information. So this is an infographic. I'll send this to you. And with that, I'm just going to pause and wait for questions. So I hope you enjoyed this shorter version of what I wanted to say. Looking forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, David, for that very insightful session. Thank you. We now know why you're the MVP on Copilot and Excel. I think a couple of things stood out for me. Your CRISP framework is spot on. We need to treat AI as a new employee, almost give it a KPI, give it context, give it a role, give it instructions, specifications, and then practice. And then the last video you showed is now reminding us that as we begin to embrace AI more and more, then cybersecurity risk remains something that we need to bake into our risk management framework and our business continuity strategy. Okay, so I'm going to open the floor for questions. You can drop your questions on the chat box or unmute yourself to speak. So for the next about 20 minutes, we'll be taking questions. Over to the house. Yes, Babatunde, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much, WNN, for this session, and thank you, Mr. Brown. My question is, given all of these risks that has been identified, do you think cybersecurity is a field that CFOs should now pursue to get certification in cybersecurity or to get skilled in cybersecurity? Do you think it is something that is now very important for?
Yeah, so I think all CFOs right now definitely have an idea of cybersecurity. Do you agree with me? You need to know, so you don't need to be an expert in everything, but you, as an exec, you need to know about everything. You need to know a little about everything, and then basically know how to orchestrate the experts within your organization that can actually lead to you reducing risk. Do you remember the 6 levers I told you that every executive looks at, right? And one of them was exposure. Say money market exposure and under exposure, you want to reduce risk. So definitely this is a major risk factor, cybersecurity. So security risk. And yeah, so CFOs should have a general idea around it. And guess what? Since you're not going to be doing the day-to-day posting and stuff and journals because you've trained your AI is doing it, then you have the time to actually start improving your capabilities around understanding what it is the world is doing about risk. What are the new vulnerabilities there? You've told an AI agent that please scout the internet every single day. Give me a report on the latest around cybersecurity risk, CFO, financial accounting related to AI. The AI will give you a daily report on schedule. And so you keep yourself abreast of all of these things. That's the work we will be doing while AI is doing the work we didn't like to do, which is the day-to-day posting and stuff. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, Babatunde, if okay, I see you acknowledge that. I see a question. Is there a way I can use AI to do a dashboard that summarize company performance real time, similar to what I do with Power BI? That's from Adekunle.
Yes, there is. In fact, one of my demos was that as well. I mean, I just told AI to build it. It built it from scratch. So AI can actually build you dashboards on the fly. One thing about AI is, okay, let me just share my screen. So, I mean, I built this with AI right just 2 hours before this session, right? Yes, Power BI is great. You can use Power BI, you can use all those tools. I think it's important to have a tool for structure stuff, but because I said there's a new programming language in town, right? And who remembers what that was? What did I mention? English, right? English is our new programming language, which means you can actually build a full-blown software yourself with AI by speaking English. So I kind of ran these agents. You have these agents where you is going through different stuff, doing checklists and stuff, and updating, and you're approving, and then it's writing all sorts. This is like software just built instantly on the fly, right? I think I had a dashboard one. Let me see, which one was it? Okay, no, this wasn't a dashboard. This was more writing reports. So it's writing reports based on what it sees here. I can even inject hallucination and see it writing lies, telling lies and stuff. So I was just simulating this. So yes, you can build dashboards. Do I advise you do? I don't think so. I think we should still use Power BI and stuff, but then there are some engines. So we have a partner, for example, called Zebra BI, where they have an AI engine, Zebra AI, where they have an engine that is on Power BI and automates your reporting and analytics directly. So it builds out your reports on Power BI automatically, autonomously.
Clarity and speed are no longer luxuries. They're necessities.
So there are tools that would help you do a lot of that heavy lifting, but please, it's important you know how to do it. So it's not, oh, let AI just do this for me. That is called abdicating to AI. You must never abdicate to AI. You must delegate to AI. Make sure you remember that. You are delegating, not abdicating. To delegate, you must know the thing. So you should know how to do your detailed reporting and stuff, whether it's Power BI or whatever it is, and then say, okay, I know this thing, but I can't do it fast. AI does it faster than me. So I'm delegating to AI, not abdicating, because I see a lot of abdication. Right now, with all the trainings and stuff and staff and stuff I see they just tell AI to do stuff. It does it to copy and paste. That is a recipe for disaster. You need to know these things so that when AI makes that mistake, you can correct it. So you must delegate, don't abdicate.
Thank you, David. I see another question from Mary. I cannot find the skill part that he spoke about. Is it still being deployed and not publicly available?
The skill, right? Is it the skill you're mentioning?
Yeah.
Okay, so skill is invented by Claude. So Claude invented something called skills, where you go and train AI on a skill. Let's assume you've worked with AI on something. You spend like 3 hours, 4 hours. Some of us spend that time working with AI and stuff. Eventually AI gets it right. And like, oh, wow, this is exactly what I want. What you should tell AI is, okay, based on everything we've worked on in the last 3 hours, please create a skill. Let's assume we're doing something on, I don't know, presentation. Create a presentation skill that takes account of everything we've learned so that next time, whenever I talk to you about doing this, you will load the skill. So AI will now write a skill and create a tool called a skill. So when next you want to do a presentation, say, create a presentation based on our 2022 forecast. That's all you will write. Because you said create a presentation, it knows anytime you type presentation to go and load the skill. So Claude invented that. I'm saying Microsoft will have that. You'll be able to use it in Microsoft in the next few weeks. I think Microsoft announced that skills are coming. All right. But if you want to use it now, go to Claude and load the skill and learn to use skills. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Timitai, I see your hand up. Please go.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to learn this morning. I just want to ask Mr. dbrown, how do we safeguard data, especially from the demonstration you made where you pointed co-work into a folder directly on your system? How do we safeguard our data to be sure that there's nothing like data breaches or what have you, sir? Thank you.
All right. So there are various ways to safeguard your data. So I used Claude. Now, think about your data. Think about yourself as you have a house, right? Your house is your company. This is your house. Inside your house, there's data, right? There's data, there's everything in your house. The risk comes from you taking data out of your house and taking it outside. Now, when you use ChatGPT or use Claude outside your house, you're taking data outside your house, you're taking it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT does something, you bring it back into your house. That is a risk. All right. Now, how do you mitigate against that risk is a matter of trust. There are some enterprise versions of ChatGPT, enterprise version of Claude, which is what I was using, which is directly linked to our ecosystem. But if you really are risk averse, what you should do is instead of you leaving your house, what you should do is get something that AI comes and is inside your house and doesn't leave. And that is what Copilot is. So Copilot from Microsoft Shop, if you're using Outlook and stuff, so that's your house. Your house is a Microsoft Shop or you're a Google Shop. What Microsoft did is they took ChatGPT, they took Claude, and they put it inside their house as part of Copilot, which means whatever it is you're doing with your data stays in your house. So the moment you're using Copilot, it is secure, basically because it is already inside your house. So the only thing you now need to worry about is who has access within your house. So like Chinyere right now, does she have access to accounts payable? David, does he have access to accounts receivable? You need to control who has access in your house. And that's all you need to worry about because Copilot is inside your house. You're not traveling out.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Adekunle, I hope that answers your question. I see a comment here. AI will have a massive impact on compliance. Do you know where the main regulators like NRS, FRS, CN are in adoption of AI for monitoring and enforcement?
They are far behind. So I was privileged to do some work with Skumo and stuff. I can show you. I don't know if you want me to show you some stuff. So Skumo, let me take, since it's regulators. Skumo, everybody here probably does a report on compliance or anti-money laundering report to Skumo, right? You fill out a form. I don't know if you know the process, one paper form and stuff like that, and then they send it to them. It's all manual. So what we've done as dbrown consulting is help them digitize it. So we've basically digitized it, the process, using rules and stuff like that, and then AI generated reports. Do you get? So eventually, when you are now filling the data to Skumo, is you're going to go through a platform and then fill it out. So there's a lot of changes that need to happen, and the new Finance Act and the new NRS and stuff. Of course, they built these technologies in. They're getting better and better at that to be more secure. Everybody has your bank, your NIN, right? You have your NIN number, you have your bank BVN. So the BVN is tied to everything as well. So they're digitizing, I can say, they're trying, but there's still quite a bit because a lot of their staff use ChatGPT personally. And I don't know how they use, whether they use it, it's like, the house, there's FRS, NRS is the house. Staff is using ChatGPT and stuff. So they're leaving there, taking data out of the house, probably is your own data, and using it outside the house and bringing it back in. I'm not saying they're doing that, but potentially, right? So it's expensive as well to get Copilot and stuff. So they're getting there. But I think the regulators usually are super slow globally. Look at America. America, I mean, they still don't have proper regulation for AI. So that video I showed is the private company, Claude, wanting to stopping themselves from releasing something they know is going to be harmful to the world, right? So that's a private company. The governments have to come together. We need to create almost like a United Nations, like for AI, just like they did a nuclear proliferation treaty. When they did a nuclear proliferation treaty where nobody can have nuclear weapons, we need to say that for AI. China, US, everybody needs to come together. It is desperately needed. But here we are.
Thank you. Adekunle, can you please speak briefly on the software you said you built now? You displayed it not quite long, just a brief explanation.
Okay. So the thing is, so I was working on demos, right? So I wanted to build simulations. So I basically knew what it is I wanted to do as a domain expert. I need a simulation on agentic stuff to simulate how it will work. So I just prompted. I was with AI. I was talking and chatting back and forth with AI on how that is done, and then it did it. Really, I mean, if I had time, I would have me and AI will have a conversation. Frankly speaking, AI was supposed to be my co-facilitator, where I'll be talking to AI and be talking to you guys and stuff, but I decided not to do that. We didn't have much time. So is you prompting, using CRISP, right? Describing clearly what it is you want, and AI will build it, right? And you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you're happy with what it is you get. If you notice, all the colors were similar. Those are our colors because we have a skill called a presentation skill. So when it's building its tools, it's using our presentation skill to ensure it follows our branding guide. All these things are part of the process. So yeah, that's how it built it.
Thank you. So we'll take about 4 more questions. Juliet, please go, then I'll read the other questions in the chat box.
Okay, can you hear me? Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Okay, so it's not really a question to David, it's to the ACCA WNN. So I'm actually an ACCA student in the professional level, just 2 papers left. And I've been following dbrown. So I think I got this section from their page. That's the dbrown consulting page. So I'm really interested in joining. I've been looking for ways to join the ACCA Nigeria female, and this is really a great fun. So I don't know how to, what are the requirements to join the ACCA WNN?
Okay, Juliet, I'll chat you up privately and let you know, but the network currently is for qualified female professionals, but I'll chat you up privately so we can take that out of the session. Thank you so much for that comment.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Ayodeji, thank you for this learning opportunity. I'm a data analyst and sales manager, but not a finance person. I'm just curious why David took out Grok from the list of the Power LLMs.
So Grok, to me, Grok needs to get more serious before I start taking it more seriously. It's getting there, but it's fine. I mean, yeah. So I've tested quite a few models. Grok is getting there. It's getting there. Maybe I'll bring it in when I think it's serious for serious stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. So Mayowa, for the AI dashboard or PowerPoint outputs, the report use similar interface. How can we infuse our own design to ensure the outputs align with our expectations?
You need a presentation skill. So you need to create a skill, and your AI knows whenever I'm doing any presentation, anything, I'm following the brand skill. This is a branding skill, your company's brand skill. So everybody probably has a brand guide. So let me give you something right now. When you finish this, if you have a brand guide, take it to Claude. Load it to Claude and say, Claude, this is my brand guide. Based on this brand guide, make sure I say this, ask me critical questions based on this brand guide to enable you create an excellent skill for my brand. Claude will go back and forth with you. It will generate that skill. Once it generates that skill, save it as a skill somewhere. Now you're going to another AI, you load the skill and say, whatever it is I'm doing with you, ensure that you follow this skill, this brand skill. That's all. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Will you in the future, Rose, start training CFOs, issuing certificates on how to use various AI service providers to carry out finance functions?
I definitely already do, but it's more in-house. I'm thinking of doing an open one so others can. So we currently train CFOs. We have 3 AI courses we do. So we've broken AI into 3. Our courses are AI for work. We call it AI for work. So AI for work basically means any work, whether you're in HR, whether in finance, whether you're in sales, whether AI for work. And we show you how you can use AI for work generally, whatever tool you're using, Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT. Then we have AI for the strategic leader. So these are more senior managers and senior executives, strategic leader. And then we have AI for the board. So 3 levels, AI for work, AI for strategic leaders, and AI for the board. AI for leaders, AI becomes your thought partner. We show you how AI becomes your deep thought partner. It's so powerful what you can do with AI. There's a session where for 2 hours plus, it's only you and AI. And we're showing how you're working with AI and talking to AI. And then AI for the board is more bigger picture things. How is the company going to change? Because guess what? All our roles are going to change. In the next couple of years, there's going to be new roles. And when you're moving up the rung, there's some roles that AI is just going to do, right? And you need to move up. It's either you move up or you just have to move up. Let me just put it that way. You have to move up. So we talk to the board about that and stuff like that. So there's AI for finance as well that I'm thinking probably will release something because AI for finance specifically is what I just talked about. Yeah, so maybe we'll do an open training, but it's mostly in-house.
Thank you. Do you have a training on agentic AI for finance accounting? Maybe that's been that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's AI for work, and it's just accounting that is the work. So AI for work, sales, AI for work, accounting, AI for work, finance. So yes, we do. And it's similar to what it is we do, but we do quite a lot of trainings on project finance, modeling and stuff, and we infuse AI into every training we do. So if I'm doing project finance modeling, which is one big thing we do, there's, okay, how do you use AI to build this project finance model? Now, we're not saying you should use AI to build a project finance model. We're saying you need to know project finance modeling first, become a domain expert. Once you're a domain expert, then you tell AI, oh, AI, go build it. And then you can supervise AI because you're delegating to AI and not what? Abdicating, which is the danger.
Thank you. So if you've trained AI with skills, do you still, through a conversation, do you still have to use the CRISP framework with every prompt?
Yeah, so no, you don't, because you use CRISP to train AI.
Yeah.
So you use CRISP to create the skill. Yeah, so CRISP helped you create the skill. So once you create the skill is now there. When you now say, create a presentation on this, it is going to go and take what is in skill, which has CRISP, right? And add it to your create presentation on this. So it almost adds them together to create a prompt. So it's joining those two together to create that CRISP prompt. So you don't need to use CRISP when you've already created a skill. You just need to state what it is you want because the CRISP has already been used to create the skill.
Thank you so much. Uju, I see that you've responded to Juliet. Thanks. I think the last question here is, how do CFOs get guidance as to what to do or can be done using AI so as not to get outdated?
So I think it's important you keep track of what's happening, right? So as I told you, you can actually schedule AI to go scrape the internet and give you a weekly summary of what's happening in the world, right? When it comes to things you're interested in. So you could do the scheduling in Copilot, you could do scheduling in Claude and stuff. I think that's one thing you should do, create a schedule. Or if there's a newsletter or somebody you want to follow online that basically you trust that is on top of their game, and maybe they do newsletters. Some people are doing paid newsletters. You could also follow just to keep track, keep up to date with new things. So you need to be deliberate about your learning. This is a new field. Everybody is learning. Everybody is copying best practices. As you can see, I talked about skill. Microsoft is now using that skill thing. Microsoft just released rules yesterday, right, for in your spreadsheets. So things are happening. You need to be aware. So please don't sit back and wait. Be active and start being aware of what's going on.
Thank you, David. Yes, you'll get the presentations. I think the last comment is ICANN needs to incorporate AI skills into the curriculum, just like they did IT skills years ago.
Yep,
okay.
Definitely. Financial modeling skills, AI skills, you need to incorporate it. That's super important here. Yeah.
All right, so I think that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. This session is one of those that you can't conclude in a day, but I know that how can we access dbrown trainings? When you get the training, when you get the session, the materials for this session, I'm sure you would get, links to the contact for dbrown. Thank you so much. Again, we need to be the custodian or the, of every AI conversation, because every decision within the organization is a finance one.
Definitely.
We need to train AI and hold it accountable. And we shouldn't abdicate. We should delegate. So that brings me to the end of this session. Thank you for staying with me. But just to close, I would invite the Career Development Lead, Sheyi Willoughby, to take the closing remarks. Over.
Thank you so much, Chinyere, for the excellent moderation. And thank you, David Brown, for this insightful session. It's been a great learning session for everyone, I believe, and for myself. I've taken the scripts. Don't abdicate your responsibility, but delegate. And I think it's something every leader should imbibe and adopt in, carrying out various duties going forward. Thank you so much. And I believe we all will be looking forward to other opportunities to partner with you. I'm particularly interested about the AI for finance and the board role, so I probably will be reaching out to you to also get a bit more on that. Thank you, everyone, Uju, Chinyere, and everyone joining us, both within the network and outside the network. We do organize various learning sessions like this quarterly, and we believe that when we're doing something else, we would also like you to come on board and learn with us. Our focus is really about building our competencies and our capabilities, and that's what the career development group is about. Thank you so much, David, and we appreciate you. You have a lovely weekend, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Sorry, I'm in transit, so I'm unable to turn on my video. Well, thank you.
That's fine. That's fine, Sheyi. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.